up, honey love? What's up, girl? What's up, love, honey love? I see you. What you doing, real Sonya? What's up, Sonya? Fat Mama Sonya. What's up, Fat Mama Sonya? What's up, Fat Mama Sonya? What's up, Mayday? Lord Mayday. What's up, boy? What's up, Lord Mayday? What's up, my boy Doc? What you say, Doc? What you say, Doc? What you say, Doc? It's my big boy, Doc. What you say? All right. Welcome back to another episode, another week of Game Dog Talk. I'm back in the building with the legendary Mr. Schoolboy Richard Garcia. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good, thanks. How you doing?
Pretty good. Yeah, we running a little late today. I was on a little business call. Apologize to the chat. So we're gonna wait on. Yeah, well, Ram and them should be through here in a minute. Let's see here. Let me scroll up and do a roll call real quick. Wayne Mune, salute. Joe Hudson in the building. Miami Snoopy 305. Fat Farm Ray. Hardy Dogs, Pennsylvania. Fat Bill Reynolds. If that's him, salute. Boss Dog Kennels. City Boy Kennels. AJ. Antonio Warren. Welsh Kennels. Jimmy Mack. Let's see here. Stephen Cohen. Anthony Bolden. Black Ice. Dan G. Dogman RT. Nemelon, I think it's Nemelon. Salute. Let's see here. Dogman D. Vernon Stone. Mr. Thomas Moreland. Salute to you, sir. Ryan in the building. Let's see here. Reginald. Osiris. Let's see, we got here. Nemlin in the super chat, salute. Appreciate the love. Says peace to the panel. How long do you keep your pups together before separating them? And please give some different reasons. Okay. Guess that's a good question to start off with. We can start with you, Schoolboy. How long would you keep your pups together before separating them?
Well, back in the day, I kept them together as long as I could, which wasn't very long because mine were pretty much early starters. When they start showing aggression to each other, that's when I started separating them. If one happens to get sick, you should separate it right away. Or if, sometimes a female won't feed one or something like that, then you might have to do some of your own personal upbringing, bottle feed them, or if they're eating at the time, because sometimes you can leave them, they'll start eating and they're still sucking off their mom. You can do that too. But if they're eating, they start getting aggressive or for whatever reason, that's the time to separate them as far as aggression. Or like I said, if the female doesn't want to take care of it, you might have to bottle feed. You might have to introduce it to, like mushy food, liquidy food, earlier than you normally would, which that don't hurt them, Basically, it's an aggression thing. If they start beating up on each other, And what I did is one is more aggressive than the other, or will keep it up longer. I'll move that one out. Then you go down the line, like that. And you should always be prepared for however many's in the litter, where you're going to put them at when you separate them. Whether you're putting them out on tie-outs or you have individual kennels for each one, whatever it is, you should have that prepared you know, way before you wean the pups off their mama, just in case, you know, you got to separate them sooner than you thought you would,
Right.
you know.
Yep. I would agree with that. I think the few litters I had is pretty much, you know, I've been fortunate for the most part to where the puppies pretty much got along until they was about, you know, 6 months. But I had a few litters to where one pup in particular was just, you know, looking for action and constantly, you know, he would encourage the other ones. So they would end up jumping one puppy and bullying them, and, you know, it can get dangerous and stuff like that. So you might have to take them and separate them earlier than you want to.
Yeah.
And it's an inconvenience, but you got to be, if you're going to breed dogs and you're going to have them, you got to have that kind of stuff already mapped out and be
Right.
prepared just in case, you know.
Yeah. In a case like that one, you might separate the one that's being bullied first, you know,
Right.
and then they might get along a little bit after that, or you know, again, they might start picking on another one. But I usually, the most aggressive one is the one I would separate if he's the one starting all the, you know, all the problems.
Right. Right. Salute to SBC Kennels in the super chat. Appreciate you, man. Let me see what we got here. Hampton, USA Kennel, salute family. He says, working dogs for life. Yes, indeed. Appreciate you, man. Much love. Yeah. But yeah, you gotta be prepared for those dogs, those pups when they start acting up though, because they can switch out on you anytime, you know, and just turn on, you know, and you gotta always have enough room for all of them. It's more convenient to have them together. We all know that, but being lazy can cost you some pups though, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's get to the first question here. Question somebody had, it says, what do you do? He said, what do I do if I bought a game bred puppy and after 13 months it's cold or it's a cur? Should I contact the breeder and for a replacement?
Well, that game bred is a tricky word, or a couple of words, you know, because generally what that means is the parents were tested. They come from game stock, you know, parents tested, you know, and grandparents, all that stuff. That doesn't mean the puppy is game or gonna be game or anything. And generally, if you buy a pup, it's almost as is. You get what you got, and it turns out or it don't turn out. Some people, they do have guarantees, you know, for whatever reason you don't like the pup, you don't want it or whatever, you know, they'll replace it out. And I know of some people, even as grown dogs, they'll replace, if you don't want the dog after it's grown for whatever reason, they'll replace it with another puppy, right? Personally, I didn't do anything like that. I wouldn't do that, because when you buy a pup, it's a pup. There's a chance that it could work out and a chance that it don't. But also at 13 months, there's virtually, you're unable to tell whether it's cold or cur. You know, if I'm not speaking anything illegal or anything like that, but it's still a young dog. It's still a teenager. You know, there's no way to tell if it's game at that age, or you shouldn't be telling, you know, finding out at that age. And cold, again, it's too young to tell. You know, the dogs have to mature, you know, mentally before you can assess them, before you can make a decision on it. But like I said, some people will replace a dog for whatever reason. Don't have to be that. Could be maybe it's too big, or it's going to be too little, you know, or any number of reasons. But as far as I was concerned with pups, I didn't guarantee anything, because there's no way to guarantee that the dog's going to turn out. If it's a grown dog, that's different. If you buy a grown dog and the person tells you it's this and that and blah, 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 and all that, and you get it, and it's not what they said, then, you know, you should have the option of returning it or getting your money back or something like that.
Right.
I mean, they can you know, you can contact the breeder and talk to them about it, tell them what it is you don't like or whatever. But at 13 months, there's no way to assess that it's cur or game or cold.
Totally agree. Totally agree. At that age, you know, you're still talking about a puppy. And like I said, people, they hear these stories about grand champion this and champion that, and you hear these stories, and these dogs supposedly started real early, and some of them do. But that's not the case for all bulldogs. That's not the case for most of your dogs. They're not going to start early, and they're not going to prove themselves that early. Most of them not. So I think people are real anxious when they get a dog. They're anxious to see what they got, you know, and they want to test the dog out, and then you give up. You get embarrassed or something, you know, you go to a little backyard boogie or something, and then you get embarrassed and shit. You're ready to throw the dog into the curb pile. But if that's the case, I mean, shit, you probably wouldn't have never have Honey Bunch or Daibo. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, that's true. Those are exceptions. You know, it's like put Morales Hercules, right? He was reportedly a 9-time winner. He was a match from he was 9 months old till whatever age, right? Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But if it is true, that's an exception. That you know, Grand Champion Midnight. I think his first time out, he was 13 months. Okay, that's an exception. You can't take those exceptions and make them the norm. It's not. That's not the way it's done. On the other hand, you have people saying, you know, well, like I just did, my dogs started early. That doesn't mean I did them early. Doesn't mean I started them early, even though I could have. They're not developed. You know, their teeth ain't set in their head. You're gonna break teeth. You could break their spirit. You could cause, you know, joint damage. You know, because they're still developing. They're not grown yet. So you can't take those exceptions and make it the norm. The same way you can't say, well, you know, this guy's dog start early. How come this pup didn't? Because I had some even in my own breedings that didn't start early. So I just wait on them. And the ones that did start early, I still waited on them. You know, it's not fair that the dog to do that to them, and it doesn't give you a true assessment of the animal if you're doing something you shouldn't do with them when they're not mature yet.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
you know, it's common sense. You know, if they're you know, if they're hot to go when they're young, they're going to be hot to go when they're older. That doesn't generally change unless they were just fooling you when they were young anyways. You know, they were faking it,
Right.
you
Right.
know. You know what I mean?
Right.
I've seen dogs do that too. I had one, it wasn't mine, I was taking care of it, but he was aggressive, man. He'd bark at anything, scream at anything, walk by, even the neighbors, you know, dog through the fence. But he wouldn't even start when it came down to it. This is years and years ago, but when it came down to it, you know, all that aggression didn't mean shit. He still wouldn't turn on, you know, even though he showed that type of aggression when he was on his chain. So those stories you hear about those dogs are exceptions, or they're not true. You know, in Midnight's case, it's true. He was, you know, his first time out, he was 13 months old. You know, but generally, they don't. You know, even if a dog will do something at that age, you don't want to do nothing with them. Leave them alone. You know.
Yep. Yep. And as for the other part of his question, he asked about can you contact should you contact the breeder or something? Yeah, I think that's like ridiculous, man. Like if you got a 13-month-old puppy and you contact the breeder saying, you know, you want a replacement because the dog didn't turn out, then the breeder most likely is gonna tell you to fuck off, man. Like, man, get the fuck out of here. 13 months? Like, you know what I mean? Like, get out of here,
Yeah.
dude. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. I mean, even let's say you do call him and he says, okay, I'll replace it with another pup. Well, then you got to raise another pup. At least this one's 13 months old,
Right.
you know, and you know, it don't hurt to wait another year, you know. But you know, I mean, I wouldn't contact him. If you want to contact him and talk about the dog, you know, like, is that a family trait? Are his litter mates that way? Is there something you do different than what I do that might help? Is there, you know, talking to him that way, just getting information about the his family of dogs or their temperament, behavior, all that, that's fine. But if you're asking for a replacement, yeah, he's probably going to give you the, you know, the cold shoulder.
Yeah. Salute
Because
my brother BFTB Boxing. What's up, bro? Salute, salute. Yeah. Let me see here. We got another question was okay, I think this question was specifically for you or Ram, but the question was what blood worked best for you in your program?
okay, I had, well, you know, when I started out, I had Heinzel dogs, I had Bully Son dogs, I had Bolio dogs, stray dogs, ADBA dog, registered, all kinds of different dogs. But the ones that I had the most success with early on was the Boyles dogs. I really liked them, and it was the Boyles dogs that had more Bolio in them than the Eli stuff in them.
Right.
You know, real early on in Boyle's career. You know, and I like those. And what I ended up with was, you know, I started Jeep as a foundation, the Jeep dogs, and they were crossed with Red Boy. That was the first one. Then later on, Rascal. So the Jeep Red Boy Rascal is what I had the most success with. And it's interesting to note that even though they were different bloodlines, the Boyles and the Jeep Red Boy Rascal, they had a lot of the same traits, which is why I liked them. You know, they were early starters, they were aggressive, they were game, they were strong and fast. The Boyles were game also, and they were fast, good wrestlers. You know, but just a lot of the similarities, even though some of the traits weren't the same. You know, but speaking like in the past, they stayed in hold, they didn't turn, they scratch hard, they scream in the corner. You know, they stayed busy, things like that. That's what I looked for rather than so much what style they were, or you know, if you want to contrast it, you know, mines were more of the action type. Those early Boyles dogs, they wrestled real good. They were fast. They shook a lot, you know, 5, 6, 7 times in a row. So the styles may have been different in some of them, but their behaviors and temperament, some of the traits were the same. But that's what I had the best. That's what I built my family of dogs with, was the Jeep Red Boy Rascal. Later on, some Red Boy Jocko was added, some more Bully Son, some Skull stuff, a little bit of Bolio, but basically that's the foundation was Jeep, and then added crosses, and I line bred after that. You know, you can do that with any bloodline. You can do that with any dogs, any family of dogs. You know, it depends. It matters more, you know, what the person that you're getting the dogs from first. You know, what does he do with them? What do they do with them? And how are they bred? You know, rather than any particular bloodline. So, you know, it's good to have the information on the blood. You can study them, the bloodlines. You can study the traits, but it depends on who you're getting them from. What are they doing with them? Why are they breeding them? And what traits do they have? If you like them, stick with them. You know, work with that. But and there are differences in style, in temperament, in behavior, in structure. You know, even colors and bone mass. You know, thin or thick, muscle. You know, mass, again, bulky. You like bulkier, you like thinner muscled, you like them standing taller or shorter, you know, more squared up, longer bodied, you know. Just depends
Right.
what you like. But like I said, because all bloodlines pretty much have proven to be successful, is just, you know, what you like, who you getting it from, why are you getting them, what are they doing with them, and why. That's why, you know, like we talked about in the past, researching, talking to people, you know, making friendships, making connections, all that is important. And you do that generally way before you ever get one dog.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. If you want to go get a dog, get it, and then learn with that dog. Learn that family of dog. Learn what that person did with them. You can do it that way too. And if you like it, you keep it, and you key on that stuff. And then you're going to do the same when you cross or you get dogs from other people. What are they doing with them? What are those dogs like? And then from that, you build your own family of dogs. Because even if you're getting out crosses or line bred dog, inbred, whatever, when you start building your family, you start making your own family of dogs. At some point, all your dogs are going to be related, you know, uh, whether close or loose or tight or whatever, or cross. Even the crosses will be half of it will be related to your stuff. So that's what you do when you build a family of dogs. And at some point, yeah, they're all going to be related some ways.
Right, right. Salute to Kenneth Johnson in the super chat. Much love and much appreciation, family. Says 78. I appreciate the advice you gave me on the Boerboel breed. It says my Boerboel Ali is now 8 months and is a great companion. Thanks. Hey, salute, man. What's up? What's up, man? Got you a dog, man. What's up, my brother? Walking down around, Big Stephen. What's up, bro?
What's happening, y'all? Man, motherfucking life tried to get me this motherfucking week. Bitch was all in my stifles and shit. That bitch got loose. Got a handle. I scratched in that bitch throat. Made that bitch jump out the box. You gotta come see me next week, life. See me on Monday with a wait and a date, bitch. I won this one.
Hell yeah. I know all about it, man. I've been going through it too, man. So check and move.
How you doing, Mr. Garcia?
I'm doing good. How you doing, brother?
I'm good now that I'm at home. Shit.
There you go. Yeah, it's safer at home.
Yeah, hell yeah. It's safer for outside.
Yeah, home is where all the guns are.
Exactly. How far is we in the questions? Did I miss the first two?
No, we on the second one, but let's go back to the first one for you though. Matter of fact, you can answer the second one first. What blood worked best for you and your program?
I tried every blood and was successful with it, so I can't say what was best. I can tell you what was more successful, and that was my Red Boy Jocko stuff and the crosses we made with it. That shit was, got the furthest with that as far as accolades go. But I got pretty far with the wild side stuff too, and that was at the height of motherfuckers was hating on wild side blood. I got it just to prove a point. So all blood is good as long as it's in working form and you get it from somebody that's using it. That's the trick. And really using it, not no fucking off the couch shit. That shit don't count. That's one step up from a yard accident. You feel me?
Right.
But yeah. It ain't no best bloodline, man. It's you find a good line, and if you like it, run with it and make the crosses and go from there. Or you could be like me and just fucking taste the rainbow. Let's go. I want to see. That's just how I always been though. I want to see what everything got to offer. Enjoy life while you can type shit. So I ain't never really had no best bloodline. I say the bloodline that always fall in my lap though is Bolio dog. Always come up on a good Bolio dog.
Yeah. The first question too, round was the guy says, "What do I do?" He says, "What do I do if I bought a game bred puppy and after 13 months it's cold or it's occurred? Should I contact the breeder for a replacement?"
Well, I say first, you better not contact that man, because if you call me talking about a 13-month-old pup, I'm gonna cuss you out, and then I'm gonna tell you give me my goddamn dog back, because you don't deserve no shit like that, man. That's a fucking kid still. You feel me? You ain't gonna let your little 10-year-old son jump off the porch and get into no serious gangster shit. That's what you putting that dog in. At that point, you feel me? That's a puppy. He ain't mentally developed there yet. Like, I'm 40, about to be 41. How I am now, totally different from when I was 31. My whole mentality has changed. Because I got more to lose, so I'm going to get down on you real fast, and it go the same with the dogs. You could be a young gunner, or you could be an OG. OG's got all the power, so let that dog grow up. You shouldn't even be touching them like that, trying to make an assessment on a puppy. You might want to get some bullies or something if that's what you're doing. until you get a real understanding of what these game bred dogs are supposed to be. Just because it's all a grand champion dick meat sandwich bred to bad pussy Betty, don't mean that motherfucker finna be a good dog. Motherfucking the best dogs throw curves. It's more often than not curves in every litter. You know, I don't give a fuck how you bred or what you bred it to. The best producer male right now is throwing curves too. So you can't even assess that though at 13 months. And cold, I don't know. I don't think people really know what a cold dog is. You know, the cold dog will just stand there and take it. You know, this motherfucker ain't hollering or nothing. So if you fucking trying to assess a puppy hollering and pissing and shit, that's still a puppy. That's what a kid's supposed to do. Uh, so yeah, just kick back, man. Enjoy the dogs. Don't rush the process, bro. You gonna fuck your dog up. Trust me. I done ruined a lot of good dogs doing that dumb shit back in the day. Trying to check them too early and shit just because they acted good and really
Right,
wanted
right.
it, but they can't really.
You say, man? Your man froze up. Brother BFTB Boxing, that super chat. Salute, family. Said, what's the smallest and biggest dogs y'all had? Yeah, I think the biggest dog I ever had was probably Bubba. Had a boy named Bubba. I think Bubba was about, he was in the high 70s. He was big. He was a big ass dog on chain weight, just huge. He was long. Motherfucker started like he just walked like a big ass tiger or something, like a cat. The way he moved and shit. And I love that dog, man. He was just a good dog. But yeah, he was a real heavy bone dog. I think the smallest dog I think the smallest dog I'm gonna have is this dog I got now, Honey. Uh, yeah, little Honey Love. She gonna be a little whippersnapper. Her, I think she gonna be in the low 30s or something, unless she has some crazy growth spurt. I think she's gonna be a small dog, just judging by her frame. We'll see though. Uh, what'd you say, Mr. Richard Garcia?
I had a couple that were 54 pounders, males, and I had one male was 34 pounds. He was probably the smallest. Preference wise, it really don't matter, I guess, but we all have our preferences. I preferred females like between 32 and 40 pounds, and males between 34 and 45 pounds, somewhere around there. Uh, as far as consistency in big dogs, the biggest I would get was like 45, 46 pounds. Uh, Females, the biggest was like 40 pounds. I don't like big females too much. Some people prefer them, but for me, anywhere, females within 32 to 40 pounds, males 34 to 45 pounds. But the biggest I had, a couple 54s, and the smallest female I had was like a 32. Biggest female I had was 40. Smallest male was a 34 pounder. A lot of mine ranged in between the, let's say 37 to 40 pound for males, and females 35 to 37, something like that.
Yes, indeed. BFTB Boxer back in that super chat. Salute, fam. He says, if there was only one breed, this is an easy question. If there's only one breed you can have, what would it be?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we already know that answer to that.
Yeah.
American
Well, during my time with the dogs, that's all I had. And I grew up, we had all kinds of dogs. We had working cattle when I was young, and we had dogs to work them. I mean, we had cattle when I was young, and we had working cow dogs to work them. We had German Shepherds, mutts, all kinds of stuff. But once I got pit bulls, that's all I had. And a lot of dog men, dog women, they have mutts and they have other breeds of dogs with them. Sometimes they use dogs for protection, or guard dogs to guard their pit bulls so they don't get stolen. Or they have some pet, some have English bulldogs or even bullies or a mutt, stinky little chihuahuas and stuff, because we love dogs. But for me, once I got pit bull, that's all I had. I didn't have any other dogs, even though I had experience with other breeds before that. It was just a personal preference. But yeah, we all know that answer.
Yeah, absolutely. Brother BFTB back in that super chat. Salute family. He says, I see that you all like to keep your dogs in a certain pound range. Why is that? Um, what is it about the weight? Oh,
That's a
that's
good
yeah. Go
that's a
ahead.
good question. That's a good question.
Hmm.
I'm not that big of a person, so I don't like lugging around big old dogs. Oh, wow. Other people that are big, believe it or not, and I didn't find this out till talking to people, they prefer the bigger dogs. If you're 6'6" and you weigh 240 pounds, you don't have to lean down to pick up no, 30-pound dog or 35-pound dog. It's hard on your back, especially in a long show, you know. And most people will say it don't matter, they don't give a shit. That's true. But people do have their preferences. And generally, at least when I was doing it, real big dogs, it was harder to find shows for them. Real small dogs, it was harder to find shows for them, depending on where you live and how many active people are around or how many people were doing their thing. There's Bulldog Heaven. His dogs were little. A lot of them were little. In the low 30s, even the males. So I would say maybe he preferred that, or that's just how they came out. But it's a couple of things. It's preference. For me, I like when you handle them, I like them not to be too heavy because I'm 5'9", 100, then maybe 150 pounds. So if you're making 10 or 15 handles with a 55-pound dog or 60-pound dog, it gets to you after a while. And little dogs generally is hard. It is harder to find a show for them. You can find them, but if you contrast that to, let's say, a 35-pound female, 38-pound male, 37-pound male, 40-pound male, you find those all day long. You can't. It's at that point you picking and choosing who you want to go into. Even in the low 40s to mid 40s for males. You'll find them all day long. So that's my reasons, anyways.
Yes, indeed. Let me go to you, Ram, for this question. Question is, what did you guys use for fleas and fly bites on your dogs in the yard? Hey, Ram, can you hear me? You on mute? Ram might be go ahead, schoolboy. You take that one. What'd you use for fleas and fly bites and stuff to keep that down?
Well, a couple of things. We did have livestock, and even when I didn't have like cattle or hogs at the house, I still had chickens and stuff and turkeys. So they make these traps for flies. I use that. Plus that they used to have a salve that you put on their ears. It's pink or something. I forget. I used that. Later on, some people would use cow tags, and they clip them right to the collar of the dog. Those were effective. But having the area clean, spraying it down with whatever for bugs and fleas and ticks and flies and all that helps. And they probably have better fly traps now. I would say they use for horses and cattle. That would be something I would look into. They're
Right.
convenient. They'll trap all the flies. But basically, I kept the area clean. Kept no standing water. For mosquitoes. I sprayed the area with Clorox once a week. I dusted them with 7-Dust once a month. And I use that salve on their ears.
Right. Okay. Ram.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now, bro. Yep.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. What did you use for or what do you use for fleas and fly bites on the yard?
Well, a couple of times that we did have fleas were from getting dogs from other motherfuckers, and they brought them to the yard, and we would use the borax hydrogen peroxide and water solution that I put in the group text the other day, and that will get them out of there pretty fast. But to keep them off, though, just for regular maintenance and upkeep, I like to mix peppermint oil and lavender oil and alkaline water in a spray bottle, and just I got a mister system, so I just pour it in line into the water that it collects from my mister system. But if you don't got that, you can put it in a spray bottle and spray it on your dogs. If I would say though, if you're in a more humid climate, you might want to be a little heavy with the oils. Out here it dry up so quick, so that shit once it's on them, it's in them, it's on them type deal. But other regions more humid, shit evaporate a little bit faster, so you might want to be heavy handed with the oils though. But that's what I use.
Yes, indeed. Hey, Mr. J Dub 20 Texas, thank you for the super chat, family, but I can't read that, brother. Can't read that, man. These people they'll take that and flip it and act like we condone or something, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna read this one. BFTB Boxing, that super chat, salute, homie. Says, what's the most expensive breed of dogs you all work with? Well, shit, I ain't really worked with no other dogs really besides the American Pit Bull Terrier. I had some band dogs and shit like that, but shit, right now I think them bullies and shit, them shits is taxing like a motherfucker if you know where to sell them.
That's an easy answer. You want to know what it is?
What is that?
Anything other than a pit bull.
Right. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that is just standard. If it's a purebred dog, I guarantee you, almost any dog, purebred dog, other than a pit bull, is going to cost you a lot more than a real pit bull. If you're going on averages,
you ain't lying.
The price for pit bulls should be up there.
Right.
The problem is you can't guarantee them, and other breeds, unless it's a working breed or a guard dog or something like that, there's no expectation for it. Most people are getting for a pet, or they like that breed of dog, or maybe they're a show dog person or whatever. With other breeds, they can be expensive, man. Pit bulls ain't compared to other breeds, and I'm not saying it's good or bad. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, TB, you say I thought pure pits were expensive. Well, that's relative. Like, they should be very more expensive than they are, but people complain about the dogs. I've seen some dogs that's fucking bred so beautiful, man. I mean, if you like a pedigree nerd and shit, I mean, you can look at these pairs and just like, oh my god, I gotta have this dog.
Yeah.
And they be embarrassed to ask for $3,000. They be afraid to even ask for $3,000. I'm like, dude, I'll give this shit in my sleep. $3,000, it's worth $3,000. But they be so afraid to, like, I don't want that much. I mean, just give me. I'm like, man, fuck that, dude. And then somebody down the street selling some fucking hairless Chihuahua for $5,000 and shit.
Yeah. And it's that, like I said, it's that expectation of quality. You when you sell a pit bull for a lot of money, people would almost want a guarantee that it's going to work out.
Right.
But with other breeds, they wouldn't ask that guarantee. They wouldn't ask that same thing. They wouldn't want that. They wouldn't expect it. But with pit bulls, you have that thing behind them. Well, it better be a good one. There's no way you can guarantee it. At least on puppies, you can't guarantee that it's going to be anything. But if you factor in the time it took, the money put in to produce them, to breed them, to take care of them, to raise them, to build a family, they're way below market price of someone who's a reputable dog person and has good dogs, that has a good record of producing sound individuals that are athletic and all that stuff. Yeah, the market price is low, but it's because of that, because you can't guarantee anything,
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, that's real shit. Motherfuckers, with the pit bulls, they want the parents to be grand champions and want it for $500. Like, what the fuck, motherfucker?
Yeah.
Hell no. You know, I spent that much in dog food, you know?
And
Fuck
want
out of
a
here.
discount on the transport.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't
Yeah.
even know the shipper,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then
True.
you want a goddamn guarantee. No, I guarantee it's going to be a dog. It's going to eat, shit, and piss.
Yep.
I
That's
can
it.
guarantee you that. If it work out, fuck yeah. Now the trick to that is it's a trick like that's why I always say get it from somebody that's using it because it's all based on percentages. So you got 50-50 chance of getting a dog from Joe Blow and it turning out where you could get a dog from me and you got like an 85% chance of it working out. That 15% chance still gonna be there though. So out of fucking 100 pups, 15 of them didn't make it. 15 of them be curves type shit. You feel
Mm-hmm.
me? And the other 85 might not be, what you looking for, even though they not curves or none of that shit. There's no guarantees with these dogs, man. That shit crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of which, everybody listening, you want to get in on some good high quality kings and queens blood, get at me. Leave a comment on under this video, man. My partner got some for sale right now. 2 bands. No dumb ass questions. It's all working stock though, for real, for real. You
Right.
come with the bullshit. Don't hit me up if you ain't got the money or none of that. And the stipulation is because we gonna register him with schoolboy. So when you get your pup, you gotta register it with him too. $2,000.
Appreciate
Fuck
that.
with it
I,
or get the fuck on.
I
Oh
appreciate
no,
that.
that's real shit. Yeah, I told you if I fuck with you, I fuck with you, bro.
Yes,
So
indeed.
yeah, them is my stipulations. It's good dogs though. I mean, you could buy some now or you could see them later.
Yeah. Kern Ramos in the super chat salute fam. He says, peace to the panel. Good looking on the what's that Orhan kibble advice, Ram. Been feeding my pup Orhan for a month now. He looks really good.
Oh yeah, the origin, yeah, that shit is expensive, but yeah, that's what I got my little pup on. That motherfucker big as fuck now, man. Like they put motherfucking goddamn steroids in that shit or something. That motherfucker just shot
Mm-hmm.
out. Yeah, that's some good food. I seen it. Oh, a condo asked me what dog is that in my picture. That was my son off of Red Jack, the great Red Jack, IMK's Red Jack. Learn about him. That was one of his first successful sons, though. That was old Jack the Ripper. It was Red Jack to some line bred honey bunch stuff down from the Roca stuff.
Yes, indeed. My brother BFTB Boxing back in that super chat showing love today. Appreciate you, homie. Because I heard that you all say you have dogs to protect your dogs from being stolen. What's the breed you use for protection? Shit, man.
Malinois. Yeah, I got a Malinois to guard my Bolio bitches off of my down from Macho Buck shit. So I got them set up, and then I got a perimeter, like the inner fences for them, and then the outer fence is what he lurks. So, good luck jumping 2 6-foot gates without that motherfucker getting on your ass. Good luck getting back over with one of them big ass dogs too, because Macho Buck bitches is big. So yeah, good
Okay.
luck. But game bred dogs have been bred, it is man biters in them in every line, but for the most part, they've been bred to be real people friendly. Like you could just walk up and steal a motherfucker dog, and he gonna leave with you like you raised him. You know. So yeah, I use that to protect my investment. Cause I've
Right.
had dogs stolen before and had to, get out there and get them back. And that shit suck. Ain't nothing worse than a dog thief, but a motherfucking dope fiend.
Yes,
Yep.
indeed.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Uh, this is the other question here. We got this is a good question. It says, shouldn't the dogs we produce today be better than the dogs of the past?
Yeah. That was the best question today.
Yeah, what you got for that, schoolboy?
Okay. I'll get into it a little bit. If I've been around a lot, so I talk to a lot of different people, and you're gonna get opinions from both sides. You're gonna have people been around for a long time, and some will tell you dogs in the past were way better. Some will tell you, hell no, the dogs today are better. Here's my assessment. When you breed your own dogs and you have your own dogs over a period of time, yeah, they're going to get better. They should get better, or you shouldn't be doing shit. So in my opinion, it's on an individual basis. Overall, because of what's going on today, we all know people just breeding on paper, people just breeding whatever dog, they're breeding young, they're breeding this and that, nothing proven, nothing. That's going to bring the quality of the breed down. That's going to fuck it up. And that's happened. But someone who's serious, has had the dogs for a long time, if they go back honestly when they first started competing or breeding, whatever the fuck they were doing, right? Those dogs were not as good as the ones they have today because they've improved. They bred the dogs to be better, whether it's higher percentage in litters or better athletes or gamer dogs, whatever it is. Yeah, they're going to improve over time. And that's the best way for me to look at it, because the best breeders do that. You know, nobody starts off knowing everything. Nobody starts off at the top. I don't care in the past, speaking of the past, if you won your first 10 or 15 fights, you're going to have them drops where you're going to lose 5 in a row, or you're going to lose 3 and win 1, like that. But over time, you're going to be a better conditioner, so you're going to win more. And as far as breeding goes, you're going to be a better breeder because you're going to understand your dogs better, or dogs in general better, and they're going to improve. If they don't, what the hell are you doing? Why are you doing it? Why are you still breeding dogs? So that's what I would say. Individually, yeah. Today, whoever has dogs, they're better than the ones they started off with, or even competed with, or started when they started breeding them. They are better. They have to get better, or they're going to be left in the fucking wind. You know, their dogs ain't going to work out. They're going to have a bunch of curs, and nobody who knows what they're doing, that don't happen. You get better. You have better dogs. You know, so that's the way I look at it.
Yes, indeed. What you say, Ram? What's your take on that? You on mute, Ram? Oh, Ram. Ram fell out.
Yeah,
Oh shit.
he's out. But that's
Yeah,
generally, that's generally the way I look at it. It just common sense tells you that. Why am I doing this for 30 years and my dogs ain't no good,
yeah,
or they
absolutely.
haven't improved?
Right,
And like I said, the people that are good at it, they do improve. They do better. They even they do better if they got dogs from a mentor, or they got a family of dogs from someone else who was successful. They're going to improve even on those dogs. They're going to have better dogs than their mentor had, or the person they got the dogs from. You have to. You ain't going to
right,
go backwards.
right,
That's not in a bulldog person to accept defeat, or be lesser than what you were when you first started out. You
right.
know. So yeah.
What you
Oh,
think, Ram?
facts. I say, yes and no. It's a trade off. Like, you get more consistent athletes, but these athletes tear up easy these days. Just like in the NBA, motherfucker go up for a dunk and come down and break his whole fucking shin. Like, how the fuck is you fucking 16, 400 pounds jumping from the 3-point line and you got Bambi ankles?
Fucking
Same with the
bones are weak.
dogs. Yeah, it's the same with the dogs. It's the trade off. You getting more athletic prowess, but you lose, the nitty gritty, the toughness, and that's what I've seen. Like, these dogs can run through a rose bush and look like they was fighting Freddy Krueger. Never had a tooth in them. But the dogs back in the day I had, you can hit the motherfuckers with a car. Just take on, put them on the chain. They was built Hemi tough. I ain't saying hit them, but they
Yeah, I
was
know what
just
you mean.
tough enough though. You feel
Yeah,
me?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So yeah, it's that
That's
trade off.
that.
But go ahead, Mr. Garcia.
I was going to say that's a good point, because that's I brought that up in topics in posts and stuff like that, and that's a consensus of a lot of people, is that the dogs just like boxers or like you're saying, basketball players, football players, they may have improved in athleticism or a lot of other things, but the durability, the dogs were more durable back then. They could take a lot of shit. And
Yeah, exactly.
from what I'm hearing, not so much today. Not all of them. And like I said, if you're good, everything's going to improve. You're going to improve. The dogs are going to improve. But that's the one thing that people kind of agree on, that the dogs were more durable back in the day.
Yeah, they were a lot more adorable,
Yeah.
man. And I'm just
Yeah.
speaking from the 90s, so I could imagine, from your time till now. You feel me?
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I'll even say that
shit.
from like when I started, back from 78 to, 96 or something. I could see that decline in durability because, man, them dogs could take a lot of shit. They might not have been the fanciest Dans or the hardest biting or the baddest some bitches around, but you go do what you do, and that later that day or the next day they're jumping up and down their house. They don't give a shit. All them wounds and all that, it didn't bother them. They didn't care. For a lot of them,
Exactly.
it takes them a lot to recover from it. A lot of time.
Yeah, I think with technology advancements in science and stuff like that, uh, better kibble, uh, us having a better understanding of what to feed the dog, how to better conditioning methods and stuff like that, whatever, and that as time go on, yeah, the dogs look better, and just like Ram was pointing out with people too, right? But the toughness necessarily might not necessarily be there, uh, in just in every other walk of life. Happens with humans as well too. You know what I'm saying? And you can attribute that to some of the foods, the shit that's in the air, a lot of estrogen out this motherfucker. You never know, man. But the toughness just might not be there,
Yeah.
like it was in the past. And then also too, it's hard for people to know how great their dogs is in this day and age, because in the old days you could read, you could read up about all these legendary dogs, 8-time winner, 9-time winner, 10-time winner. Today it's very difficult to do shit like that because of the laws and the change of public opinion on the dogs. So it's hard for people to find out if their dogs are that, because bulldog is not really accepted, on the more national stage, the way it used to be a smack on the wrist and shit. Now it's like fucking, you're a child molester or some shit. You know what I mean? You're the worst thing on earth if you fuck with dogs. So this is how they do. So it's hard, you know what I mean? But I agree with everything y'all said when it comes to the different um the differences in the dogs and shit though, because they definitely a little softer now. Um, I remember a time where motherfucking dog. I mean, I hate to say it like this, but I mean, a fucking yard accident happened and motherfucker poured some goddamn peroxide on her ear and put them back on the chain and shit. Motherfucking
Yeah.
dog be fine. Now these dogs got allergies and shit. They're allergic to shit.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah.
dog allergic to shit.
We just used to use salt water, put salt
Yeah,
water, clean their wound. People go, don't that hurt? I don't, dog never cried, you squeeze all the pus out of them. They just kind of look at you. Then,
right.
now I don't know if they'd be able to do that. But, if we look at humans, there's no doubt that the technique and the science and all that stuff has improved. The athletes, as far as that goes, has improved. But, I'm a big boxing fan. There's no boxer today is gonna achieve the same record as a lot of them fighters in the past, because to fight 100 matches in their career was nothing back then. That's nothing.
Right.
Harry Greb had almost 300 fights in 13 years, and he was blind in one eye for his last 5 years of his career.
Right.
And that's
All
not
15
unusual.
round fights too, though.
Yeah.
Them was like
Well,
long haul fights. Like,
exactly. Okay, so 15 rounds. Before that, the rounds were scheduled for up to 45 rounds.
Right.
And if anybody wants to go look up Ad Wolgast and Battling Nelson. It went 39 rounds. It's a grainy fight. They only have clips, but listen to the commentary. And if you just put it in your mind that these guys were punching almost nonstop for 39 rounds, 3-minute rounds, with probably didn't even have a mouthpiece, shitty little cut protector. There's no you know, counting to 8 when you get knocked down. You know, there's no standing 8 count. You know, they're cut and bruised and bleeding and tired in the heat. There's no air conditioned building. And they did this shit for 39 rounds. And it's grainy and it looks old and all that. But if you just
Imagine.
look at it,
Yeah,
how these guys gonna do that? And they get knocked down and they get up and they lose teeth. They get teeth knocked out and they
yeah.
still fight. You know, they break their arm, they break their knuckles, lacerations all over their face. So I would think, yeah, probably them people were tougher than some of the people are today.
Well,
Even like now, like Ram said, 15 rounds, they don't do it. And you have to train for that and you have to be able to do that. So I'm not saying they can't go 15 rounds, but they don't go 15 rounds, and I don't think they can because it's a different. Them last 3 rounds makes a big difference.
yeah,
So,
absolutely.
you know, related to the dogs, yeah, I think they were more durable back then. You know,
Hmm. Yep, and um, you like I said, society in general is just different. You know what I mean? I read this thing where they said each generation of men going back to like I think they went back to the 1800s or something. They said each generation of men, testosterone drops by like 10%. Like it's like so. It went all the way back and they showed this little scale of how everything's getting weak. And I think you can attribute it to the food, chemicals, and all that shit, and also on what we're required to do. Like nowadays, people go to an office, they sit down, chill, whatever. But back in the day, when your testosterone had to be high because you had to do manly shit all day. You know what I
yeah,
mean? You had to get out there and hunt. You had to go cut trees and shit. Like you had
yeah.
to
Well,
fucking move around and work. And just like the
right,
bulldogs.
right,
Back in the day, bulldog had to be a bulldog. You know what I'm saying? And and
true.
and
More,
nowadays,
more, more physical labor,
right,
more, you know, harder conditions that the dogs lived under. The
right,
food is, you know, wasn't as good. And if you think of food, well, let's think even modern day athletes, you know, but let's go to the past. What did they eat growing up? They didn't have no special diet.
right.
They didn't have no. Some of them didn't eat, you know, the best food. No one had a strict regimen, you know, like that. They ate shit. They ate whatever they ate. The guys from the Midwest ate corn and potatoes. And if you got some meat, great. If not, but a lot of them eat, you know, eat cornbread, eat beans, eat rice, eat junk, eat whatever you can get your hand on. And then they grow up and they're world champions breaking records. They're athletes that are competing at the highest level. They didn't have a great diet.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, you put one against the other, and there's probably a lot to what you're saying. You know, a lot of people would say men are softer now, and it could be because they're not doing the same physical labor, and they're not, you know, they don't have those requirements in their job and all that. Well, that's got to have an effect. So yeah, I would agree to an extent on that too.
Yeah, yeah. Anthony Bolton in the super chat, salute family. He says, listening to y'all teach is truly a master class. I don't even know where to start with the questions, so I'm going to listen to the game. Salute to you, man. Appreciate you, bro. Uh, what's that? PLG TV in the super chat. Appreciate you, man. So what y'all think about cable runs? I'm the wrong person to ask about cable runs. They look nice though. I seen a few of them on YouTube videos. I seen some yards. People had them. They look real nice and shit. If you can make it work, you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah. If you got the room and you got the setup, they're real effective, man. It's almost, you know, dog will get a lot of exercise. I know one guy, top guy too. He never pre-keep his dogs because he kept them on 100-foot cable runs, you know, and he would feed them at one end or have, you know, the water at the other end. He did something to where the dogs would run back and forth, whatever, you know, not all day long, but they got more exercise, and that was basically how he pre-kept his dogs, was just on a cable run. He didn't have to go out and hand walk them, and you know, they came down to weight, you know, close to their weight on their own. It's good because, you know, it's a lot more freedom of movement and a lot, but you got to have a lot of area for them too, and you got to have a proper setup, you know. So most of the cable runs are run up off the ground above the dog. I've seen some where they're laying on the ground, you know. So it's just a matter of, you know, how your setup is, checking it all the time, make sure there's nothing wrong with it, no chains don't wear out or bearings don't, you know, mess up or, you know, get dirt in them and all that stuff. But yeah, they're if you could have the space and if it's allowed and you know, you're able to do it, it's a, you know, it's going to take some tweaking, it's going to take some learning over time, but they're a great asset if you can get it, you know, get it right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ram, you there, bro? I think Ram still having some difficulty. That's all right though. But you finna get up out of here anyway. Salute to Reginald McDonald in the Cash App. Appreciate you, man. Schoolboy, tell the people where they can find you, man.
Just get a hold of me through Messenger on Facebook, Richard Garcia, through Messenger. That's it. Give me a holler.
Yes, indeed, man. And salute. Thank Mr. Garcia for joining us. Salute to Brother Ram coming through. Salute to the chat. Appreciate y'all. See y'all next week, man. Y'all stay safe this weekend. Be up out of here.
All right. Thanks a lot. Salute, everybody. Have a safe
Peace.
weekend.